In the previous video, we saw how we can install Octane for Blender, or actually is a version of Blender which contains Octane inside. So it's Blender Octane version, and we started to see what the interface looks like. Well, there is not a defined interface. We have like different bits and pieces here and there. So we're gonna try to see where the most important things are for Octane. So I'm gonna go to the edit menu here in Blender, and I'm gonna go into the preferences first. So that's the first thing you wanna keep an eye on, which is the add-on page. And in this panel right here, we need to make sure if we have activated Octane. So the first thing we can do is search for the Octane plugin and then check the checkbox on to activate it. So this is also containing some preferences already. For example, the local DB paths or the texture paths. So something that concern management of the files, and we can also decide which material we want to use as a starter type or default type. So in this case, I'm just going to use universal, and I'm going to show you later how we can apply the first material. It's really easy. And so this is the first panel that we need to check in talking about Octane in Blender. So now let's close this, and the second most important is the renderer. So we go to the render properties panel in Blender, and we need to change from a Blender render engine to Octane. And once you do that, below you will find a lot of parameters and settings for the Octane renderer. And the most important is the Octane kernel. Kernel comes with some presets. You can see here, kernel presets. And later on, we will talk more about setting up the rendering and increasing the quality or decreasing the quality, depending on if you want to be faster or slower, we can change that. But one first thing we can do is to change the kernel type. Now, before we can do that, we can create a new presets. So I can create my custom preset and start to change things around. Or I can create like a preset for high quality and a preset for low quality. So I can create more and more so that when I set up things here, I can just recall one of these presets and everything will be set up. So kernel type is really important. Now path trace is probably the most accurate, but also the longer to render. Direct light is the fastest, I think, and it's also less accurate, but it's also doing a great job. And we're gonna test some of these later. Now you can see there are also others here, but these are the most important. And PNC, according to some websites, it's better when you do interiors than other types of scenes. So we're gonna keep it on the path trace, which is by default the kernel type, and I think it's more efficient and appropriate. And here we're gonna leave everything pretty much as it is. Now this is the latest version of Octane for Blender. Some things could change in other versions, like some of these could be not preset, but you need to go there and set it yourself. Now let's go all the way down here. You have a lot of parameters, but we're gonna focus on these basic ones that will get you started. So if you go all the way down, you have also an area here with activation state. So you wanna make sure that you are activated. You are running the server prime and it's activated. You have logged in and everything is fine. Otherwise, the renderer won't work. So to do a test, you can just switch from the standard view here to the third sphere. So first sphere is a wireframe, second sphere is like 3D view, simple 3D view. third sphere is the rendering. So if you click on the third sphere and nothing happens, or it's going to give you a message with not connected, and also nothing will be visible, well, that's going to be an issue. So you need to fix that. You need to make sure you have your license or subscription activated and running, otherwise it won't work. So you cannot go further with that. So just run the Octane server prime again if it's not automatically opened. And if you're not logged in, just click here on activate and log in with your username and your password. Now, if you don't see this, you can go on the bottom right of the operative system, and you will see the icon of Octane. You can just right click on that icon. And also, you may want to go into your page and check if you have actually an activated subscription or license, and if it's not locked. If it's locked, you can unlock it and use it in another machine, or well, make sure you don't use it in more than one machine. Now, also here, color management tab is pretty important. So make sure that you have here these settings. So display device as sRGB, view transform raw, and look none, exposure 0, gamma 1. So these are considered to be like the basics, so that your image won't get like compromised or like override with the extra effects, but I'm gonna show you that later. Okay, now I can click on the third sphere and Octane is running. This is the basic scene at the moment, which is a blank environment, which we will set up later. We will import HDRIs, we will render with our images, and you can see up there you will find all the information, the render times, and all other interesting statistics and information about your render. So you can go also here in the output, and you will find extra Octane output panel, and also here in the view layer we have layer for render passes in Octane. So you can see that when you use Octane for Blender, you know, everything is kind of distributed in not in only one area, but like in different parts of the Blender interface. Also, world again is really important. This is where it's getting the blank or white environment. So if I change that color, it's gonna affect everything, because right now I'm just illuminating the scene with that single image in the background. So if I set it red, it's gonna be red. If I set it white, it's gonna be white. And I can change the power of the emission of that environment texture or world environment. So this is one way we can start to modify. We can also go to the shading interface. This is where we can access the material, and you can see that that standard cube as is universal material already. So this is the one that you will get, because this is the standard that you set up in the add-on preferences. And here you can change from object to world, and this is again a representation of how the world environment is working right now in Blender. So you can change also from here. You can change the color, you can change the power, and same, it's the same exact thing. Now here we can also do some more operation that we will see later on, and adding more nodes and working with this dashboard of the object and the material. Now we have then other panels here in Blender, but let's focus on again the most important at the beginning. So material, this is where you can create your material, modify the existing material, and so on. So you can do it also there, not only in the shading mode. And if we click and drag with in that little arrow on the right, or we press and, we can open up an extra panel. So these are like standard panels in Blender, but the fourth one there on the bottom, this is Octane. So this is again where we can set up really important things about the Octane render, which is essentially working in the viewport. So one important thing is to override. Make sure you override this information right here with the ones that are from Blender. So this is where we can override exposure, we can override other effects, we can override production settings and post-production settings like vignetting and other stuff that we will see later on. So this is just to show you again where are the most important parts of the Octane interface in Blender. Now you can use the camera in Blender, but you can also use the standard perspective. So previously you were forced to use at least one camera, but this is not happening right here. And I'm also going to the mesh and creating a new mesh here, a monkey head, so we can test a little bit better these initial settings of the Octane renderer. And let me zoom in here. And I also want to increase the quality of this, so I'm going to go in the modifier panel and add some subdivisions. And if you're interested in Blender, you can check our Blender video course. You will find all the features, all the tools available in the software, so that if you're not an expert in Blender and you don't find yourself comfortable with everything we are doing because you don't know Blender, first start to learn Blender and then come back for Octane. Now I want to adjust here again the world to see a little bit better. And also I want to go back to the kernel. So render settings here. And you can see here in the color management, I can see what happens if I change the exposure and the gamma. So many websites suggest to leave these two standard. Do not touch those two. But you can see there how they gonna affect the render. So if you want, you can just change it. This is like the opposite. It's doing something really strange. So remember exposure 0, gamma 1 if you want to maintain the standard. And perhaps you can adjust the exposure using the other tools. Now the light here also in Blender doesn't work. So we will talk about lighting later, but you can see that there are some things that you don't need. So you can just delete the light for the moment. We're going to talk more about this. You can see here we don't have parameters for intensity or anything. We cannot work with the light. So we're gonna see that later. Now I've increased a little bit the exposure and the vignetting, and you can see now this is what we are doing, what we've done so far, and it's giving us the information up there about this really simple rendering. Now, as soon as you move in the viewport, the rendering is gonna restart. So this is a real-time rendering, and it's rendering real time. So it's rendering each single second. And when you stop the view, it's gonna reach the highest peak and it's gonna stop. But before it reaches that highest peak, it's gonna continue to render. So depending on how you have set up the render setting. Now I'm splitting the two views here because I want to have like a smaller viewport when I render, and this is gonna be faster. I will create faster renderings because I have less pixels to render. And you can see also up there the timing. So you can make your own experiments. Now, in my opinion, you don't need like a really large render view at the beginning. You just need a small render view just to help you to understand what's going on. And you can see here I'm continuing to splitting with the right click and splitting the interface in Blender because I want to use like more panels, and I want to reduce the render view so that it's going to be faster and it's not going to be too heavy for my machine. It's not going to like uh, make it too hard for my machine. And remember that you need to have a strong GPU if you want to do ray tracing, if you want to do path tracing renderings with your computer. Now here I'm changing the view from standard 3D into the shading or shader editor, and this is where I can manage my world, which is again an important part of Octane render. And also I can add another one to manage the materials, which also are pretty important, so that I can have everything under control. Now you can see the smaller the viewport gets, the faster the rendering it's getting. And I can also make some tests changing the kernel type from direct light. So you can see it changes a little bit. It's a little less accurate, but it's a little faster. So you can see there the timing. So always keep an eye on the timing. And also we can test PMC. You can see PMC is going higher with the timing, so it's probably more accurate than path trace and direct light in this particular situation. So you can see I've opened up another shader editor, and I will set up this one here to use the materials. Now you can see on the monkey head we don't have any material. So if I go in the material panel on the right and click on new, that's it. It's going to create a new Octane material, which is again a standard universal material. So if I just change the color of the albedo channel, which is the more superficial channel, I will see the changing right away there, because it's a real-time render. So every time I change something, it's going to be changed in real time. I can see everything in real time. So let's finish here. I want to show you just some few extra tips. You can save the interface if you want, so you can start with this interface anytime on the defaults, or you can just save a Blender file. Now I want to show you this plugin right here, or add-on, which is called Blender Octane Helper, and you can get it from GitHub. So if you go to GitHub, you can just go in the releases, try to download the latest releases. So could work or not depending on the version that you have of Octane. I have the latest version of Octane. So to activate the add-on, just go to the add-on and click on install and select, in my case in the downloads, the Octane helper. So select that and install it. Now if you manage to run this plugin, it's gonna give you extra help to use Octane. Now in my case it doesn't work, so I'm removing it, but just to show you what it's about. Well, it's just a context menu that you can open up, right click, open up the context menu, and you have like an Octane button, and from there you can access like materials, environment, render. So what we are seeing so far, but in more um, like easy, user-friendly and easy to understand fashion. So you find all the information here in the GitHub page for this Blender add-on if you're interested, and if it runs on your version of Octane. So we need to wait perhaps for a more recent version. So this will be all for this first lesson about Blender and Octane. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated for more. And if you want to give us a little thank you, a little support, you can join the channel as a supporter. And please check our other video courses and video guides, especially the Blender video course that you will find in the channel. So this will be all for this lesson. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.